The Arizona Cardinals are one of two teams I have not done a rebuild for in any capacity in Madden 22, and that's going to change. So I'm doing the Cardinals. The other team that I have not touched is the Buffalo Bills in any capacity, but other than that, I have done every single team. And I haven't done a legit rebuild for the Lions, but I have an entire 90-plus episode franchise series surrounding the Lions, so they're taken care of. But let's go ahead and get into this Arizona Cardinals rebuild and see what we can do. They had an interesting offseason. They traded their first-round pick for Hollywood Brown. That was an interesting trade. I guess we'll talk about that more in the video. But I guess it's as good a time as any to remind you guys, this video is brought to you by the fine folks over at Manscaped. It's time to show Dad some love, and with Father's Day quickly approaching, nothing quite says I love you, Dad, like a ball trimmer. So maybe get Dad the Lawnmower 4.0 or any other of Manscaped's great selection of products. They've recently come out with Boxers 2.0. Couldn't recommend these highly enough. They are incredibly soft, ultra soft boxer briefs with some fun little designs on there as well. Your dad probably has enough wrenches and tools and coffee cups and ties. What you really need is something that he's going to use every single day, and that's the great collection from Manscaped. You have the hydrating body spray, you got deodorant. They really have everything you could ever want or need. The Lawnmower 4.0 is really the perfect beard and body hair trimmer. I love this. I have like 3 different ones, and you have nothing to worry about either. They have skin-safe technology, ceramic blades, a great high-power motor. You're not really going to have to worry about cuts, nicks, anything like that. Check out the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Boxers 2.0 and a great selection of products other than that as well. And you can find that in the link down below. That's manscaped.com/Bengal. You'll get free shipping and 20% off. That link is down in the description. It's manscaped.com/Bengal for 20% off. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the video. So this is the team. New improvements, well, we'll talk about the rookies first. Trey McBride in round 2. I thought he was the best tight end in the class overall. Really solid run blocker. This looks nothing like him. I guess for the sake of this rebuild, I'll change his face appearance. This is close enough. It's not there, but it's close enough. I'm definitely going to play him over Max Williams. Again, I thought he was the best tight end in the class. Just really well balanced, guy that can block, guy that can catch, and was throwing the ball a lot at Colorado State. So he's a fun player. They took him in second round. And in the third round, they took Cameron Thomas, who I was pretty high on as well. He is going to be a pretty decent player, I would bet. But I was also high on Zach Allen, who I think is a similar player and hasn't exactly worked out. So take that with a grain of salt, I suppose. And I've also given Myjai Sanders star dev. It's just more fun to give these rookies that are new into the league star dev right away, just so we can kind of see those guys who are the focal point of the video. So yeah, is Myjai Sanders going to get star dev in Madden 23? It's unlikely, but we're going to do it here. It is what it is. What else have they done in free agency? Not a whole lot on defense. They lost Chandler Jones. Obviously, I think that's the biggest thing they did was not keep Chandler Jones, but it's understandable in their position. Although, if they want to be competitive, that's a pretty big guy to lose. Even though he is maybe on a slight decline. He's older now. And then brought in Will Hernandez and lost Chase Edmonds. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. The offensive line could be upgraded in a number of different spots. Rodney Hudson's cool, but he's also very old. Actually, he's only 32. I thought he was 34. All right, so we might have a year or two more than I thought we would with him. He's probably going to be here the duration of the rebuild. Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins is suspended in real life for performance-enhancing drugs, I want to say. But he's still really good. But is it the drugs? I don't know. Hollywood Brown's here. Traded a first round for him. Is he worth a first round pick? No, he's not. But is he going to produce like what you could get in the first round or better? Yeah. So I don't think when it's all said and done, you're going to complain about this too much if you're a Cardinals fan. Yes, also, I'm going to get crucified if I don't mention that he and Kyler Murray were teammates at Oklahoma, and they were a great duo together. Yes, that's true. Rondale Moore is here. After that, the receiving core is not great. Antoine Wesley, Andy Isabella, Greg Dortch, not fantastic. Could use an upgrade at running back 2 over James Conner. And defensively, there's a lot to take in here. J.J. Watt is a short-term solution that I don't know what we're going to do with that. Corner is a big problem. Byron Murphy's cool. The rest is not. at all. Maybe you like Marco Wilson a little bit, but it's not a great group. The defensive line could use upgrading. And Jalen Thompson's quite good, actually. It's nice to see him represented with a good rating and dev trait. We have Budda Baker, Devon Kennard, Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons, and Marcus Golden. Eventually, I could see both Myjai Sanders and Cameron Thomas starting. But we don't really have a true identity for what this team is yet. So I'm not going to commit to anybody on this team except for probably Budda Baker and Isaiah Simmons on defense. Well, I mean, Jalen Thompson, Byron Murphy too, I guess. And offensively, also don't really have a true identity, but obviously we're going to keep Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins and Rodney Hudson as long as he stays in the league, and Hollywood Brown, of course, too. We'll just simulate to the midseason mark. I'll load in a 2023 draft class that I've been using, and that's pretty much where we are. We're going to make some decisions at the midseason mark. I think guys like J.J. Watt might end up being a free agent. It's either this year or next year for him, so we'll make those decisions as we have to. 5-2 at the midseason mark. A little bit better than I expected, to be honest. Where's our offense? Number 2? Is Cardinals offense elite in Madden? And I've never heard of this? Never seen this? Just one half of the year, too. Things could change. But we'll go ahead and load in that 2023 draft class and see who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Man, Andy Lee looking kind of old now. But yeah, there's nobody in here that is worth re-signing, at least at this moment in time. Pretty good season. Won the NFC East. Nope. Won the NFC West easily, 11-6. Rams, Niners, Seahawks did not do too well. All went under 500. And the Lions are in the playoffs as well. So I guess Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams coming up big in year one. But as you can see, we had the number 5 scoring offense and number 18 defense. So imagine how good we might be if our defense came to play. So that's something to focus on, of course, in the offseason. Statistically, Kyler Murray was very, very good. James Conner was solid as well, as was Kyler Murray on the ground. This is a very good rushing season for a quarterback. Receiving, wow, 3 receivers over 1,000 yards. Hollywood, big impact in year one. Nuke, of course, does what he does. And then Rondale Moore in the slot was also very, very good. Zach Ertz didn't contribute a ton, but that is what it is. Defensively, Zaven Collins had 142 tackles, 6 for loss, 2 sacks. Isaiah Simmons put together a pretty good year, but you can never really tell with linebackers because tackles are not a good indicator of how good the player is. Think about it this way. All tackles are not created equally. So if a tackle's made within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, that's a pretty good play by the linebacker. However, if the tackle's made beyond that, in that 7 to 10 yard plus range, and they're a linebacker, that's not really that good. They didn't do anything special on that play, and especially if they allowed a catch and then make the tackle, that's also not good. That's bad. So tackles, very misleading at times. There are a lot of players that applies to. Not so much anymore. He's a little bit better now, but Blake Martinez in Green Bay is kind of the guy I go to. I mean, Alec Ogletree. Just any Giants linebacker, I think, is usually right there. J.J. Watt, 21 tackles for loss. Great year. Also led the team in sacks with 7.5. 7 for Marcus Golden. Didn't really get a ton of pressure. And, of course, didn't create a lot of turnovers either. Defensively, we're going to make some big-time changes. But we're in the playoffs right now. I'm not going to be playing any of these games or even jumping in unless it's the NFC Championship. Ooh, Myjai Sanders is going to be up to a 70. But we will see what happens. And if we go to the Super Bowl year one, I'm not going to end the video, but that would be very neat. Didn't know the Cardinals. Oh, and we lost to the Lions. Okay. Well, it's time for the offseason then, isn't it? The Bucs beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I think fairly realistic matchup there. We nearly saw that. Kyler Murray won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, by the way. And then Rookies of the Year. No 2022 guys, just the 2021 rookies. Davis Mills and J.O.K. Sean Murphy-Bunting wins Super Bowl MVP. I'm guessing Joe Burrow threw a game-losing pick 6. Not ideal for the Bengals. and I would care a lot because I'm the world's biggest Bengals fan. Right comment section? Hilarious. Definitely going to offer Bryce Callahan a contract because there's nothing like having the two best corners on your team being nickel corners. That's great. Okay, not bad. We got Brian Bulaga. Band-Aid, I don't really view him being the future of the right tackle position, clearly at 33 years old. In real life, yeah, maybe an Andrew Whitworth would work out, but not really a viable option here in Madden. Jordan Berry to be punter, 1-year contract. And then Bryce Callahan, I think, is on a 2-year contract. In Madden, in simulation, the game doesn't know what a slot corner is versus what isn't. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, okay, well, clearly they are. And maybe not Bryce Callahan per se, but some guys will have slot be rated higher, but that doesn't mean they can't play on the outside because they still have the ratings capable of playing on the outside. But Bryce Callahan is a slot corner. Byron Murphy's best role is in the nickel, so he's also a slot, but these guys can both play on the boundary no problem. I don't know how speed works at corner in simulation. I've never known. I don't know how anyone could know. You could test it, but you're going to get varied results in simulation anyway. I think it's going to be really, really random, and you're not really going to be able to see a difference between, 99 and 95 speed in simulation versus 90. And then you could really go down and go, okay, well, let's test an 85 speed corner versus 80, and then go all the way down into the 60s. I'm not sure you'd see a huge difference. I know that seems wild, and maybe you would, but I'm not sure that you would. Anyway, we'll go to the draft. We should be picking around the low to mid 20s. I think probably 20, 22, something like that. Okay, 23, not 22. And we'll just simulate to this pick. I think the Cardinals could be somewhere around here in real life anyway, so I have no problem picking at this spot. And we'll see what happens. Now, I think they also could have a regression a little bit, but there are some good players here. Bijan Robinson is tempting. I mean, it really is, especially as a Texas fan. I think Bijan's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a first-round running back. At tier 23, running back makes a lot of sense, but I also see Peter Skoronski, who could start at the offensive line for us right away, and that is obviously extremely tempting. Skoronski is just the smart pick. It really is, but I want Bijan. And I haven't drafted a running back like any of these. He's got solid everything. I think that's fair. I don't even know that Bijan's going to run quite as fast as 4.46, if I'm honest. I think he could, but he's quicker than fast, which is good at running back. You see a lot of the best NFL running backs have that as a trait. Some of them can absolutely fly as well, no question about it, but a lot of them are quicker than fast. It's more important to be quicker than it is to be fast. You know what? I'm just going to take Skoronski. It's a little bit more boring, but it's a better pick. Because he can play right tackle after Bulaga's gone, and he can play right guard right away. So it just kind of had to be done. Bijan goes to the Lions. I'm not afraid to trade up here. I think I had a player in mind to trade up for. No, I don't know. Oh, yeah. I think it was BJ Ojulari. Tank Bigsby wouldn't be awful either. How far is Ojulari? 10 picks? Okay, trading a second, a fifth, and a sixth for number 34. And I pretty much already told you who I'm going to draft. It's going to be BJ Ojulari. And we still get a third-round pick out of this. So, not that I'm really planning on spending that on anyone in particular, but pretty happy with that. I mean, Emil Akior Jr., it's a name that I struggle with because I don't know. I just guess. He would be good too. I think I took him in the last one, so we'll mix it up. And I'll go with BJ Ojulari. And of course, he doesn't spell BJ like this, but if you try to say BJ in the draft, Madden's like, oh, do you mean blowjob? It's like, no, I mean the name. But B-J-A-E is what the creator opted to go with. Is what it is. I think he's going to be a really good player, by the way. And that's just not because the Giants have Azeez Ojulari, who I like quite a bit. I like BJ Ojulari a lot. Love BJ. Tough not to. If you know about BJ, you know it's pretty good. A little bit bendier than his brother, who's not bendy per se. A little bit bigger, I think. I think more of a first-round prospect out of the two. And Aziz was a pretty good prospect. So I'm speaking highly of B.J. Ojulari. I think he's a really good player. Go with Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. Do not know this guy. Hopefully he's good. It's not going to start anyway, but who knows? Not bad. Skoronski's a 74. Ojulari's a 73. Not much else. I'm just going to release Justin Pugh, actually. I'll make this easy. We free $10 million in cap. Penalty of $2 million. Not bad. So Skoronski's going to start at left guard. Will Hernandez is young enough to where he can still develop a little bit, and I think be better than where Justin Pugh can get. 2 former New York Giants offensive guards, by the way. That's how you know there's a problem. Also, Devon Kennard's getting worse. Another former Giant. How are the Cardinals good? Hey, we're going to release him too. Also, Marcus Golden, another former Giant. And a lot of okay, for a little while, there was some overlap with the Cardinals and the Giants because of the coordinators who were in Arizona. Well, not coordinator, but like I think there was a position coach, linebackers coach, potentially. I don't actually remember now that I think about it, so don't take everything I'm saying exact on this, but there was some type of New York Giants to Arizona Cardinals connection that kind of made a lot of those guys make sense. I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, Marcus Golden, former Giant. Are there any other guys? I sure hope not. There is one more. Giants and Texas legend, Colt McCoy. Nice. But I think that's actually it. Not that it matters, but I'm going to stick in the 3-4. I just don't think we have any interior presence that makes going to a 4-3 make sense right now. So Ojulari is going to kick out to outside linebacker, and I don't really want Marcus Golden. I'm just going to release him too, and I'm going to start Ojulari and Myjai Sanders. Is there anywhere where I can start Cam Thomas? Like, I don't know. Kind of. He will be a rush D tackle. And I want Ojulari and Sanders both rushing the QB off the edge. So I got to figure that out. Probably just Sanders to rush right end, and that's it. Might also put Hollywood Brown at slot receiver. And I think that's it. Not a ton of changes. Skoronski starting at left guard. Trey McBride. You know what? It's time. He will start at tight end over Zach Ertz, who's just old. I mean, he's 31, but I want to focus on the future, and that is Trey McBride. And in year 2, we're going to make a change. Oh, not good. Our offense looks very similar, except this time we're just not converting at all. So, like, the ratio from passing yards to rushing yards per game looks very similar. Although we're top 5 in the league in yards, last year it was different. We were not putting together all the yards, but we were scoring. We were taking advantage of those opportunities. This year, not so much. And defensively, it is well worse than last year, despite moving to Jacksonville playbook, which I've had success in when I've run a 3-4 in the past. So I don't know if it's a personnel problem or an overall scheme problem. You guys have probably heard me talk about how 4-3 defenses are just, in my experience, a lot more effective in Madden simulation for 22. And it hasn't always been the case. Sometimes I see some 3-4 defenses do quite well. And it usually is Jacksonville. Not working out for me here. Okay, wow, that's right. Kyler Murray's going to be a free agent. Okay, so that's going to be a lot of our money. Just all of it, probably. There are some decent players in here we want to bring back. J.J. Watt and Rodney Hudson are declining, but are still good. It's like a 1-year deal. Oh, we have a lot of money, actually. Hollywood Brown, I want to sign to an extension. Same thing. Can I not say thing? Brian Bulaga, Jalen Thompson, DJ Humphries, potentially. DJ Humphries on a big contract. Is that expired already? Guess so. Oh, and Kyler Murray wants to financially handicap us. That's cool. That's $281 million. All right, enjoy that. Jesus. All right, brought back DJ Humphries and Jalen Thompson and Byron Murphy and Hollywood Brown and Kyler Murray. Rodney Hudson's up next. Just wanted to see where our money was going to be first. I would gladly give him a 3-year contract for about $10 million a year. I think that's pretty reasonable. Now, with J.J. Watt, I'm more interested in like a 2-year deal, and I'm not even sure if he's going to be a starter for both of those. Brian Bulaga, it's a similar spot. I think I'm pretty comfortable with a 1-year deal, but I will look to replace him. He wants more money, so, and we're not really winning a lot of games. Do I just trade him right now? He's not going to have any trade value, so that kind of answers that question, I guess. Okay, interesting trade. I'm making a trade with the Panthers and not getting Brian Burns. Do any of you even believe that? Well, you better, because Brian Bulaga, a 3rd-round pick this year, a 2nd-round pick next year, is on the move to Carolina for Derek Brown and CJ Henderson. So, 2 former 1st-round picks. Derek Brown probably a little bit better of the 2. And I think they fill immediate needs. We're not doing too well this year, but it's still early. So Derek Brown starts right away. CJ Henderson gives us a good 3rd option at corner. I might as well start Cameron Thomas at right end now. We did not make the playoffs, and our offense took a major step back all around. And it's like what we talked about earlier. It's just putting the ball in the end zone or scoring in general, really not even a lot of field goals there. 21 points per game on average, just 3 touchdowns. Or 7 field goals. Maybe I am a math guy. Kyler Murray, here's the difference. Way fewer touchdowns, way more interceptions. Guy gets paid, he stops performing. A tale as old as time. James Conner was also not as good as he was a year prior. Kyler Murray, same deal on the ground. DeAndre Hopkins was great. So was Marquise Brown. So was Rondale Moore. Like, for what they were doing, it's like not a huge surprise, I guess. But we just need to score more points. Defense was not good, which, I mean, probably means it's time to move to a 4-3, the legendary move. But it has to be done. If we're going to be successful, it just has to be done. So, who becomes expendable now? I like having the depth. I don't really know that anyone does, but we do need a linebacker. We do. We need a left outside linebacker. Simmons is listed at right, but it does the Madden thing where it's like, they're going to go the other side. Don't care what you did. So, okay, but we need an outside linebacker. We need any off-ball linebacker, really. And really any offensive lineman or 2. Because Skoronski can play right tackle, so I'm not going to say I need a tackle. He can play right tackle, but we need a guard in that case. So it's just whatever best offensive lineman we can acquire in free agency will dictate where we play guys on that unit. As you can see, the Bucks beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes won MVP. Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year. And 2 Bama boys win Rookie of the Year. Bryce Young with Washington and Brian Branch with Chicago. We do have a lot of money, 40 mil. I don't know what our window is, though, because we are paying... Ooh, Zach Allen's going to be gone. And Will Hernandez. I don't know what our window is, though, because we're going to be paying Kyler Murray a lot of money. I think I'll bring back Will Hernandez just because he's a good backup option. And if we have to start him, that's fine enough. I would give him a 3-year deal. I don't think this is going to handcuff us too much. And again, if he needs to start, he can start. He'll develop for another year or 2 anyway. But we are looking to upgrade in free agency, no question. I've tried to sign Denzel Ward every rebuild I've done post-draft. So, I mean, do I even bother? Do I just let him deny and decline again? And I don't love the offensive lineman. I'm not picking up Zion Johnson because Zion Johnson should not be in free agency. And if he was, he wouldn't be a 77 overall. He'd be a lot less than that because he'd be I don't know, Isaiah Wilson with the Titans out of Georgia, who I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, you guys get my point. Just he'd be a bust. He'd be in free agency because of talent or lack thereof talent, work ethic, whatever it would be. So he'd be worse. So anyway, my point is it'd be unrealistic to sign him. Not that these are the definition of realism, but we try to be not too crazy, or at least not at the start. Sometimes in the end they get a little bit more wild. If Denzel Ward declines this contract, I mean, do I even give him more money? I don't know what I'm going to do. But we're going to need to replace Bryce Callahan. Denzel Ward would be way more than a replacement. He would be a major upgrade. It finally happened. Denzel Ward finally signed a contract with me in a rebuild. I don't believe it. I mean, this has been, I think, like 3 rebuilds in a row of him declining me with the highest offer. Younghoe Koo also should get a contract. I need a kicker. Big free agency week. We got Younghoe Koo, Anthony Harris, and Jimmy Ward. And why would I sign any of those guys? That doesn't make any sense. Backup safeties. They will be sub-package players that I think will see the field in simulation. Anthony Harris is decent. Like, it's a 1-year deal. Or maybe even 2 years, but I think it's 1 year. He's going to be fine as a backup. And Jimmy Ward. He is he's actually rated higher than Jalen Thompson with the morale. But he's not going to start over Jalen Thompson. Jimmy Ward's good. Jimmy Ward's a good player. And bringing him into the secondary to play kind of like that hybrid moves all around DB, especially in different sub packages like dime and quarters and stuff. Like, he's going to come out. Even in nickel, he could play slot corner. But yeah, I just thought that having the depth at safety when I had no safeties was important, besides the top 2, of course, the starters. There are no middle linebackers in this class whatsoever. I have not seen one inside linebacker. Tony Fisher would be the first one. That is way down the board. Hopefully he's really good. So we pick at number 11. Also, I would like to know if I can save money anywhere, just because we're in a bit of a tight spot with that. And I know there's got to be, but I'm not going to cut DeAndre Hopkins, obviously. Bryce Callahan, we're not going to pay after next year, so not really him. James Conner, I just don't have another option. Cutting Zach Ertz wouldn't really save enough. Calvin Austin, how did he get on the team? No idea. Go back to Pittsburgh. Goodbye. I need Tony Fisher to be really good. It doesn't look great. He's strong. You know, he doesn't look terrible. I wish I knew what tackling was. What is tackling? No, I wish I knew what his tackling was. It's a question mark for me right now. But everything seems to be B, with the exception of pursuit. Injury doesn't matter. Zone coverage, whatever. It's just not his game. But pursuit usually is a good indicator of tackle. So I'm hesitant. Joshua Temple is quite the athlete. But we don't really know anything about his game other than that. Now this Braylon Roper fella, dangerous last name. Don't look at that quickly and say it. You gotta double check. Anyway, looks pretty good. And we have confirmation that he's pretty good. Oh, that's not talent. That's just projection. It's top 5. We got Scooby-Doo over here. This dude, Artie Whitaker, is awareness, block shed, and power moves, but is not really that great of an athlete. I'm thinking defensive end on him, but I don't really need that badly. We kind of do. I moved J.J. Watt over. I'm not drafting a D tackle at 11. I don't know. I'm just going to see what's there at 11 and make my decision based off that. We're not going to trade back into the first. Well, at least I don't plan to. Now, everybody that I would have considered at this spot is off the board, except for Tony Fisher, and I'm not taking him at 11 because I don't have to, especially because I might double dip on linebackers in the form of Tony Fisher and Joshua Temple, just to try and hit on one of them. This Eric Bruce also looks quite good. He is a safety. You guys know I love drafting safeties, no question about that. But at 6'1", 224, I'm thinking potential linebacker, and I'm going to end up taking him here. 91 speed, 95 acceleration, things I like to see. Hidden dev, things I like to see. I think he's going to end up playing outside linebacker for me. And at number 11 in the second round, we could still get one or both of those linebackers. So, do I trade up for Tony Fisher to be safe? Is he available at that pick? That would be cutting it fairly close. He's 33 picks away. That's a maybe. So, here's what we'll do. we will trade up for one of the top picks in the second round. It should not cost much to move up, and we will at least secure the chance to draft him. Number 43 and a fifth to move up to 34. Not really a big jump, and we should definitely have a chance to take that linebacker. He should be available. But will he be? That's the question, or will I be disappointed? Don't see him. There he is. Tony Fisher, do I like you more than the other linebacker? We can see that he's pretty well-rounded. We just don't know tackling. And pursuit, I wish was higher. And Joshua Temple is a better athlete. Slightly. Okay, no. I'm going to take the top guy. We're going to take Tony Fisher at Texas A&M. Welcome to the Cardinals, Tony. He also has hidden dev. 88 speed, 91 acceleration. 80 strength. Probably not going to be able to start both of those guys. But it's a good problem to have if they're both good and we don't know which one to start. It's a good problem to have. Draft recap. This is going to be interesting. Ooh, two very good players, by the way. Eric Bruce is 77. That is not easy to get. He's got 75 zone, 71 tackle. Block shed's real low. He's definitely more of a safety than a linebacker, for sure. But he's a big linebacker, or big safety. And then Tony Fisher's a 75. Also, a very good overall for an inside linebacker. High tackling at 87. Block shedding's not bad. Pursuit at 81 is also not bad. Very good. He's going to start, I think, for me at outside linebacker. But I like the other player, too. So, do we move Buda Baker to corner? That's going to sound weird, but it's not that weird, especially with the role that he plays for Arizona. And Tony Fisher actually goes up to a 76 at left outside linebacker. Now, with Buda Baker at corner, he should have very good man coverage, which is why I think I can make that work. And the CPU drafted a star dev quarterback. Big arm, somewhat fast. Accuracy's not great. But there's something to work with here. Yeah, I mean, really the only problem is paranoid sense of pressure. Dude's going to be freaking out in the pocket. Yeah, Buda only has 83 man, 88 zone. I would have expected a little bit higher. But I want to find a way to get Eric Bruce on the field. I just don't know what that is right now. He could almost play corner. He could play linebacker. He could stick at safety. There are a number of different things that this guy can do. And that, I think, is what makes him so exciting. At middle linebacker, what is his overall? He'd be a backup, but he would play. He's a 74, so really not bad. At corner, he's a 76 overall. But he's a really fun player. I mean, this is one of those rare guys that can just kind of do everything, which is very cool to see represented in Madden, I would say. I think I'm just going to stick him at strong safety, keep him where we drafted him, just because I don't really have a plan with how good Tony Fisher is. So we'll just have really good depth at the position. And, I mean, that's all I can say. Actually, no. I see my depth at linebacker now. I'm moving him to middle linebacker. He'll be a good backup. But, man, the linebackers after the starters are not good. And I can tell because BJ Ojulari, who's starting at defensive end, is currently penciled in to be right outside linebacker too. That's not good. There he is. Cameron Thomas, who's also a starter, behind Isaiah Simmons. Not good. That looks a little bit better. But I love the look of the defense overall. Jimmy Ward at sub linebacker. How do I feel about that? I think I'm going to play the rookie. Watt, Brown, Thomas, Ojulari. I'll put Sanders over Victor Dimukeje. Dimukeje, I think, could end up being good, but we're not going to see it in this rebuild. Ooh, Tony Fisher's actually horrific in coverage. Maybe Eric Bruce will be a sub linebacker. You know, let's do it. Let's be fun. 4-3, while the Rams are 6-1. I don't like it. Our offense is great. Our defense is not. Do we know Tony Fisher's dev trade? Not even close. He's not playing a ton of snaps, it seems like. I need to get him better in pass coverage if he's going to be a viable 3-down player. So that's my focus. James Conner, Jimmy Ward, CJ Henderson. I mean, a lot of the one-year deals I've given out. Those guys have expiring contracts now. Do I really care about any of them? CJ Henderson. But do I really need... No, I do. I do really need him. The other guys, I'm questionable on. I'll wait it out. I know Anthony Harris is going to regress. He'll be down 73 overall-ish. Jimmy Ward probably an 80. Max Williams we don't need. Zach Ertz we don't need. And then James Conner, I'd like to get a better running back. But I fear that I might have to trade a first rounder in order to get one. I'm not extending him. Okay, big second half of the season actually. The Rams went 7-10 and missed the playoffs. I mean, they had to have, right? Look at our schedule. Look at their schedule as well. Because we were a little bit up and down. Nah, we just really had a rough spot. That was it. And the second half of the season, we were, incredible. We were really, really good. The Rams, on the other hand, were, I want to say, like 6-1. Yeah, I mean, look at this record. Holy cow. And then look at their second half of the year. Oh, after the bye week, they lost every game. Holy. But this is what you expect from this team. We should be dominating. We should be great. Second best offense in the league. Kyler Murray put up very good numbers. First best defense. So we really turned it around in the second half. Kyler Murray over 5,000 passing yards, 47 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions. Rushing, James Conner. I mean, the yards per attempt is going down every year, and that's kind of what scares me and why I don't want to extend him. Receiving, DeAndre Hopkins was 10 yards shy of 2,000. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a new NFL record. Nobody else really contributed in terms of yards, like an insane amount. Trey McBride was awesome at 14 touchdowns, but so did DeAndre Hopkins, and that was the offense, really. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons had plenty of tackles. Tackles for loss, J.J. Watt 16, 13 for Cam Thomas, 10 for B.J. Ojulari. Quarterback sacks, he's back. J.J. Watt, at 34 years old, puts up 17 and a half sacks. 10 for B.J. Ojulari. Not much from anybody else, but that's not also like an extremely developed group outside of those couple of guys. I mean, even B.J. Ojulari is not all that good yet. So I would say we got a lot of great production. Some guys overproduced where they probably should have. Still do not know Tony Fisher's dev trait. Once again, gonna upload or upgrade pass coverage. And I'll upload this video when I'm done, probably. It'll be uploaded. We'll see if we can beat the Niners here in the wild card. I hope so. Should be able to, right? Yes, we do, by a field goal, 20-17. And now we have the 12-5 Cowboys. Battle of the 12-5s here in the divisional. And we shall see. If we make it to the conference championship, I'll probably super sim and jump in if we have to. But not in the divisional, and we lose by 4. Also, negative salary cap right now, so that is not going to be good at all. Going to try and free up some room somehow. Otherwise, we will not be able to do anything in free agency or even re-sign some of the guys we need to re-sign. I mean, we're going to free up some space anyway, I guess. So we're not going to touch anything. But, man, we're in a bit of a tricky spot, I would say. Chiefs beat Washington in the Super Bowl. The Commanders got to the Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey wins MVP. Aaron Donald with another Defensive Player of the Year. Eric Bruce, what is your dev trait? Oh, this is the safety, or middle linebacker. Okay, so he says star. And we'll do run stopper if he's going to be playing linebacker, which I guess I haven't fully decided on yet. Okay, so now we have a lot of available salary cap. 21.7 mil, because a lot of the guys who we were paying a lot are now going to be free agents. James Conner, Jimmy Ward, Zach Ertz. I mean, you get the picture. Do I want to bring any of these guys back? No. But at the same time, we will have holes on the team. No question. Rodney Hudson's gone. That's where a lot of the money's going. Or freed up from. Is J.J. Watt still here? He is. He's Superstar X Factor now. Byron Murphy is Superstar. Isaiah Simmons is Superstar. Fisher has Star. We could use an upgrade over Thomas. Daniil Hunter's in free agency, so that might be an option. but we'd have to shell out everything to get him. So running back, center, potentially defensive end. We're not going to be able to address everything that we need to. Daniil Hunter, let's see here. Kyle Duggar's in here. James Conner is the best running back available. Can we afford Daniil Hunter? I mean, like, surely not. I'm going to offer him a 5-year deal. I don't think it's going to be 70 points. 67. How can we make this work? Don't know. I'm going to make a risky maneuver here. I'm going to cut Derek Brown to free up some cap room. And then hopefully sign him back. I made a mistake picking up the 5th-year option. It's just... It was more expensive to get more security with keeping him and not having him test free agency. But at the same time, we have less money than I thought we'd have. So, I've handcuffed myself. I've used that term several times over the course of this thing, but it's exactly what has happened. It's going to be a big moment. Big moment coming up here. I'm doing offline now because I'm tired of the disconnects, so I'll just let it take longer. Okay, well, we got Derek Brown back. We got Damian Lewis, probably going to play him at center. Daniil Hunter rejects me. Sad. It's actually really annoying. Daniil Hunter would have been a really good piece for sure. Offense looks pretty good except for running back. I'm working on it, okay? But we do have money. That's not the problem. I don't want James Conner back. Now, I'll tell you what I could do is just sign Aaron Rodgers and trade him. I'm not going to do that. That's cheesy, okay? I could do that. I'm not going to. Okay, trading Darnell Wright, who's the tackle that we drafted, and a first-round pick for Javonte Williams. Perfect running back to step right in. Good James Conner upgrade, and he's gone anyway, so replacement, I guess. What do we need? I still want to get a dynamic edge rusher. I mean, Cam Thomas is cool, but he's not really going to move the needle too much. I kind of want to move him defensive tackle, if I'm being honest. Be that third D tackle. And then... Do I just trade Myjai Sanders and a future first? I think that's probably going to be the best move. Okay, we're trading Myjai Sanders and a first for Odafe Owe from the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's a big enough upgrade at right end to make a big difference. I wanted a superstar X Factor to be a real difference maker. It just wasn't going to happen. And Odafe Owe actually has superstar Dev, which I guess I should have checked before trading for him, but that is pretty good. Can't unlock edge threat yet, though. Got to be pretty close. They've been going more in a power rush direction. Interesting. So we will not be unlocking that. We don't pick until the 3rd round. We've traded our picks. Gone in an LA Rams type situation. And, of course, they're in our division. We got to, we got to do what we can do. If you can't beat them, join them. And maybe I'll just go with the defensive tackle here. Joey Clement. Like, we don't know anything about... okay, I can't do that. I'll just go with a backup running back that I know literally nothing about. Seems good enough. Ooh, and he was bad. But so is the rest of the draft class. Offense looks good. The offensive line doesn't look amazing. Also, hold on. J.J. Watt is our starting fullback? Alright, I'll allow it. Our offensive line doesn't look as great as it is because even though these guys are like 80 overall plus, they are only normal development. So they don't really look too good, but they are. And then defensively, we are just, I would say, quite good overall. Are they both right ends? I'm going to make Owe a left end in that case. Going to simulate to the midseason mark. Team is, as you guys saw it, hoping will be pretty successful final season. So I need some success. Not a great start here. Although it's a close NFC West and we were kind of in a similar spot last year. We are a 90 overall. We should be very successful. It's not exactly all coming together right now for this team, which is unfortunate. So we snuck into the playoffs. Did win the division, though. Kyler Murray had a very similar season to what we did in season 1. Rushing, Javonte Williams was great. Nearly 5 yards per carry. He's wearing 13 at running back. Ugh. Not good. Receiving, DeAndre Hopkins took a step back in terms of production. Trey McBride as well. Our offense just wasn't as high-powered as it was a year ago. Rondo Moore and Hollywood Brown put up, I would say, comparable numbers. And then defensively, I assume we weren't quite as good. Adafioye did have 15 sacks, 13 for BJ Ojolari. Watt still had 7. I would say our defensive line performed pretty well. Forced a couple turnovers too, so that's not bad. We'll see if we can beat the Giants in the wild card. Talked a lot about the Giants in this rebuild, which I feel like is a little bit uncharacteristic. And the Giants have won a playoff game. I think that's fitting. Oh, God. Well, Packers won the Super Bowl. Chad Muma, who's on the Packers now, wins Super Bowl MVP. Dak wins league MVP. Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett are your offensive and defensive player of the year. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Remember, use code Bengal when you sign up for Underdog Sports, Underdog Fantasy Sports. They got daily stuff. They have fantasy where you just draft and then you don't have to worry about changing your lineup every single week. They'll handle all that for you. So I think it's a better way to play. I'm going to be doing it this year, and hopefully we enter some leagues together. But you got to use code Bengal at sign up, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. So if you put in $50, they'll give you $50. If you put in $100, they'll give you $100. That's kind of how that works. Isaiah Simmons up to Superstar X Factor, but I hate to end without winning the Super Bowl, but usually I give it 3 or 4 years. And we built a great team. They just didn't want to win in simulation, which is unfortunately how that goes sometimes. But great team. We have a lot of available salary cap, but how many guys would we have to re-sign? I think you're probably going to see DeAndre Hopkins here. I think you're probably going to see Isaiah Simmons. But that will do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.